Welcome to Small Business 21st Century. I'm your host, Don Moraney, and this is a session of the Wealth Zone University. Today, we have a special guest who is CEO of a company that is doing extremely well. I'm going to introduce you to Michelle Taylor. Michelle Taylor is CEO of Betah Associates, Inc., and she is here to tell us all about how she runs her company on a day-to-day basis and make sure that her company stays on top. And we're going to be talking more about that, about the recognitions that she has as we go along. Michelle, first, welcome.
Thank you, Don. It's a pleasure to be here.
And tell us, Betah, what does Betah Associates do?
So Betah is a professional services firm. We are primarily a government contracting firm that specializes in communications and event management, as well as technical assistance and training and peer review support. That's a mouthful, but we're a professional services firm.
And you're a government contracting firm, federal government and state government, I understand.
Yes, primarily our sweet spot is federal, but we have done work with state and local government agencies as well.
And I understand that Betah has a 35th birthday coming up in November.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
35 years
35
in operations. It's quite a testament to being an effective small business and being resilient.
And it's a testament to being an effective CEO, which you want to talk about. So first, before we get into talking more about what you do day to day, I want to know a bit more about Michelle, how you got into the business, what you were doing before you got into the business, and other things that you're willing to share with our audience, please.
Okay, well, to be transparent, my journey as a business owner is not as common as some. I have said that I am a sudden to successful CEO simply because I did not found Betah. It was my mother's brainchild. It was her vision. She founded it in 1988 in the basement of our home. And I was actually the first employee. I helped her get her 8A status. So I'm excited about that. But it was not my path or the journey that I thought that I would be going on. I joined the company in 1999, having had a career in television and film production.
Oh, really?
I'm a creative to my core.
Okay.
So my journey was one, I had these visions of wanting to be a award-winning documentary filmmaker. Even in high school, that was my path. I went to Syracuse and the Newhouse School and cut my teeth in terms of producing film and video. Went to live in London and did internships at the BBC and Channel 4 television over there. Came back stateside and worked, started as an intern at National Geographic Television and worked my way up to an associate producer.
Okay.
And it was in 1999 that my mother had the opportunity to produce a video conference looking at HIV and AIDS in communities of color for the Department of Health and Human Services and for former Surgeon General David Satcher, Dr. David Satcher. And she asked if I would consider coming to help produce that. And so I loved National Geographic. It was a dream job. But I said this would be interesting, something different. And so I did. And really, the rest, they say, is history. I was very moved by what was happening in communities of color at the time around HIV and the infection rates, and really wanting to utilize my creative talents to educate and inform people in a way that they could make better decisions that could perhaps change outcomes. So I was able to really, I say edutainment, if you will, kind of mixing education and entertainment as a way to change thinking and behaviors. So that's how it all started for me. I did not go back to National Geographic and stayed in the company as the communications and creative services director. And really, it was a great team. My mom was the business savvy-minded person, and I was the, hey, let's do this creatively. And she would say, okay, where's the money in it? But we worked very well together. One thing that I am clear and I'm very transparent about as well is that I was not groomed to take over Betah. We were very clear that because I was a creative at the time, government contracting was so not appealing to me in that regard. However, for those who are in government contracting, I love it now.
Did you hear that?
But, you know, I really had visions of really continuing to use my creative talents. And one great twist was during my time as the communications director working on this campaign focusing on HIV, I was able to produce a documentary for BET that actually won an award focusing on a young woman who, she was a gospel singer, and she was HIV positive, and I approached her and asked if we could tell her story. And she was very open, and I was able to, again, use my creativity to educate audiences nationwide around the fact that you can live a healthy and long life and go on to have a family even if you're HIV positive. So.
And that production was called
Tangy Song.
Tangy Song.
Yes.
And it's still available for everybody to watch, and you can see some of the wonderful things Michelle's creativity has been able to develop by watching Tangy Song. I liked it. I loved it.
Oh,
great.
Thank you.
And so you came into this really by happenstance.
Yeah.
And you've grown Betah into an organization that is recognized by so many various and important sources. Goldman Sachs, County, Inc. magazine. You did that as CEO. And that's what I want to talk about today. The transition that you made. Well, not even a transition, because you're still the most creative person that I've met in a while. And is that what keeps your company so vibrant and so recognized, your combination of creativity and dedication?
So, thank you for acknowledging that. But I want to be very clear that the success of Betah, yes, I am the leader, but really I'll put it into three categories. I am a person of faith, so I'm very clear that Betah, the real CEO, is the Lord, but also our associates. We have just a phenomenal group of strategists and implementers and creative talents that really are main contributors to Betah's success. One of my mentors shared that great companies are really the result of great people. And I do believe that Betah has been blessed with phenomenal associates.
Okay.
And so the Lord, associates, and then of course our clients. We have long-standing relationships with our clients. The client that I worked for in 1999 is still a client to this day.
Okay.
So that, I think, again, speaks to, Betah actually means trust and confidence, and so those are the hallmarks for which we have grown. Our clients and our associates trust. They trust my leadership, they trust the executive leadership, and our clients trust our capabilities, our solutions to the problems that they may have, and they just trust that we have the capabilities to move their missions forward. So they have that trust and confidence in us.
And you continue to get new clients or new contracts. And is that because of the relationship that you have with your existing clients, or the fact that Betah is well known in the business community, or all of those?
I think it's all of the above. We, again, have those long-standing relationships. So some of our clients are our biggest cheerleaders and promoters. So they have shared our capabilities with their colleagues. And then also the marketing and the outreach that our teams do to raise awareness about Betah and our services. And then, of course, in the government contracting space, procurement and responding to proposals and solicitations is also another effective way to grow and obtain new clients.
And so on a day-to-day basis, you're not the one who's looking for the proposals and the opportunities. Your staff is, and you call them associates?
Associates, yes.
Okay, so they are the ones who are in implementing your vision.
Yes, it's a mix. I'm very clear that as the CEO, one of my primary responsibilities is to be that chief cheerleader and being that brand ambassador. So I am always out wanting to engage and meet with our existing clients, new clients, and really build favorable, positive relationships. But we have, in government contracting, you have a pipeline of opportunities, and you do the capture strategies. So we do have team members who that is their primary role, to garner new business, to look at opportunities that we're, really primed for based on our capabilities. But I would say a large part of it is relationships, really trying to cultivate, again, that trust and confidence.
And so the relationships you build, some as the leader, your associates build others as part of your team, and your company has a reputation that is enviable in most instances. And so does a lot of business come from the fact that your company is well known?
I would say that our name, there is brand recognition. I mean, Betah, 35 years, that says something. And, you know, it's interesting that when I meet new clients, they say, oh, I've heard of Betah. So, you know, our brand is out there, we are known, and I would also say our project managers are they're just very good with the current client relationships. They are just trusted implicitly to do the work and do it well. And I believe, again, that it's their work that garners additional work because the clients speak favorably of us. So, and some of the recognitions that we have, I would hope, you know, pique people's interest to check us out and learn more about what our capabilities are.
Okay, we're going to talk about some of the recognitions in the next segment. But for now, what I get from what you told me is that there's value in the Betah name and the Betah experience and the Betah accomplishments. That there is trust and loyalty in your associates and the people that work for you, for the company.
So.
And there's the leadership of you being the visible person and the voice and the leadership of Betah. Is that a good way to capsulize it?
Yes, very much
Okay,
so.
sounds good. Hey, we're going to take a break right now. We're going to be back and talk with Michelle. There's another side of Michelle that I want to explore if she'll explore it with me. But the most important thing that I want you to take away from this entire program is that CEOs are people too. That a lot of us did not grow up as CEOs but became CEOs. And this is a person who has both sides that I would love to share with you and get you to know so that you too can realize that you can be a CEO. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. Bye. Hi, everyone. The objective of the Wealth Zone University is to change your mind about money to change your financial future. Hi, I'm your host, Don Maraney. In the Wealth Zone University, my guests and I talk about a wide variety of business, financial, and other worldly topics. We are seeking to both educate and entertain you. We emphasize that the informations and discussions are my opinion, perspectives, and ideas, and those of our guests. We in no way intend to deliver or provide financial, tax, or business advice. You should consult with your tax, accounting, financial, insurance, and legal advisors regarding the impact, application, or pertinence of any topic or opinion that we share on the Wealth Zone University. Thank you for being a part of our audience, and please continue to communicate with us through email and Twitter because this is your show. Welcome back to the second segment, and we're going to continue with our interesting discussion that we've been having with Michelle Taylor, CEO of Betah Associates, Inc., and we're going to learn more about how she runs her company every day and some of the things that she is doing to make sure that her company stays viable. Michelle, your company has a lot of recognitions and well-earned in the 35 years. And just let me read just a few if you don't mind. Corporate awards, Inc. 5,500 fast-growing companies, the Growth Lab Top 100 communication firms, Goldman Sachs. I could read the rest of them for the rest of the life. Those recognitions just say that your company and you as its CEO have been doing stellar things in its business community. But I also know that you have an allegiance to civic and community things. Share with me how the two of those things mesh.
Okay, so Don, my mother instilled in me very early on, even before Betah, that we should do well and do good. She was a servant leader, as am I. And it's very important that as Betah grows and we find success, that we are able to give back and to serve in communities. And for me, as the CEO, part of my mission is community engagement. I'm very, it's a passion of mine. So my form of giving back and being involved in community is really wanting to work with and encourage and empower other small business owners. You know, again, my journey was different, but I learned a lot along the way.
Obviously.
A lot of nuggets that I've enjoyed sharing that seem to resonate with new and emerging business owners. I'm also passionate specifically about Black-owned businesses. As you know, Black business ownership is very difficult, especially we saw what happened during the pandemic. And so for me, I have a specific love and passion for really helping to encourage Black business owners, as well as Black women business owners specifically. And then also I have a commitment and a passion for youth.
Okay.
So I serve on boards that are looking at positive youth development in communities, as well as overall health and wellness among youth.
That is so fantastic. And that's why these recognitions are so important. And is that how these recognitions come to Betah and Associates? Because of the outreach that you have both in the business and civic community?
I think that those things may be contributors, but again, I just have to go back to my team. I really think the recognitions and things like Inc. magazine and being part of the fastest growing companies in the country really speak to what our associates have done to help Betah succeed and to increase our client engagement, our client relationships, and just the quality of work that we do. So it's not me. I'm as you know me, I'm a humble leader. I don't seek these recognitions. I want the recognitions for the team to feel good about working at Betah, to know that they are working at a company that is thriving and is being recognized and is successful. And one thing that I do tell emerging leaders that it is important to celebrate. We work so very hard. So taking moments out to savor those recognitions is important as well.
So how do you keep the vision for Betah in your associates' minds all the time? How do you make them believe, execute, and bring value to the company?
So that's a great question, and very timely, because as part of our 35th anniversary, we've done...
Hold on one second. Happy birthday to you. Okay.
Thank you. We've undergone a complete rebrand. For many years, full transparency, I was really resting on the vision that my mother had laid, and it was a phenomenal vision, phenomenal foundation. And many associates, when they came to Betah, they really liked the legacy idea that, wow, she kept this company going, because when my mother passed away, she was a phenomenal woman, phenomenal leader, but she was Betah. And so when she was failing and clearly transitioning, there was no succession plan and things weren't kind of in the best of shape. And so for me to decide not to sell the company, there was an opportunity on the table. One of her trusted advisors said they're really taking advantage of your company. I decided not to move forward with that opportunity.
Good.
And so some associates really were encouraged and really committed to helping me at that time keep the legacy moving forward. So fast forward 15 years, that's a great foundational story. But what next? And so I found myself kind of at a crisis, maybe, 2018. I call it 2 days in a hotel, where I actually closed myself into a hotel for 2 whole days. And I prayed and I just really focused on, okay, you've carried the company this far. What's next? What is the vision? What is the mission? And so I came out of that and really started to impart and share, not necessarily changing the real intent of the mission, but framing it a little differently, and also the vision. So one of the straightforward visions that I have shared with our associates is that I would really like to see Betah become the leading woman-owned marketing and communications firm in the government contracting space first.
Right.
You know, I think we're on a trajectory based on being on the top 100 list. We're within the top 20 now.
Okay.
We were 30 2 years ago. Now we're number 18.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, troops, let's get to number one. But I don't want to limit us just to government contracting.
Sure.
I think that the strategists, the implementers that we have, those skills, that knowledge can parlay itself into the commercial sector. So that is going to be part of our strategic plan as we go forward. But for right now, our sweet spot has been in the GovCon space, so I'd say let's leverage that. So the associates are very clear about that. With this rebrand, we have a lot of interesting initiatives and activities to really communicate the new messaging and really wanting our associates to understand their role as brand ambassadors as well. So it's a constant, it's an evolving process for us. But
Okay. So after your 2 days in hotel, how did you convey your revisioning to your associates and your team to have them buy in? How did that happen?
So first I had to have the buy-in of the executive leadership, so I
Okay.
met with them. And then every year we have kind of a state of Betah, where it's an all hands, where we meet and I give kind of a presidential address, if you will, and I share. I openly share. We're very transparent with our revenue, where we are, where we're going,
Okay.
goals for the year. And so as part of that, I rolled out I shared the whole 2 days in a hotel with them and what that experience was like, and then shared what the path forward would be and what the expectation would be of them as associates and brand ambassadors. And since then, we have we have what's called the Betah Buzz. It's our
Okay.
internal newsletter.
Okay.
And we constantly highlight the vision, some of our value propositions. We're constantly trying to communicate with our teams what it means to be at Betah, what it means to be a Betah associate, and what that path forward is.
Wow, and that's powerful because your team, your associates, your connections, your relationships, they are what make the company run. And so all of those areas, believing in you, your leadership, and being able to absorb and relate to your new vision are extremely important. And so you start with your executive leadership, you said, and then do they share your message, or do you share your message through the Betah Buzz with everybody?
So it's the executive leadership, but then also our management team. The
Okay.
project managers really have the pulse, and they're the bridge between the executive team as well as the project level team. So they're constantly, we meet on a monthly basis and talk about the state of Betah and where we're going and what's working, what's not, having very transparent conversations.
Okay.
And they in turn share, appropriate information with the project team. So our project managers are a key component to information dissemination.
Okay. And so would you say your responsibility as CEO is to make sure that everybody who has a responsibility to bring value to your company and to continue to help your company achieve its goals, it's you imparting your thoughts, your vision, and their value in that happening? Is that how you do it?
Yes, it's me imparting, but also I want input. It's not a
Okay.
dictatorship
All right.
by any means. I know enough to be dangerous, but my mother also told me, you surround yourself with people that know more than you, and I believe in that. So I trust the insights, the expertise of my managers, of my executive team. So I may share something, and I really encourage them, if this is not a good idea, have my back, hold me accountable, and give me another path, another suggestion, another recommendation.
Okay.
I'm very much open to hearing the voices of our associates.
Okay, that's part of being a CEO, to be able to listen and bring new ideas or new perspectives to what your vision is, so that you can adapt it and make it better. Is that right?
Exactly.
Good. So what key thing would you tell our CEOs that would make them better CEOs at some point in time in the future?
Oh, wow. There's so many lessons that I've learned along this journey, because again, mine was very different. gosh, there's so many lessons. What would be one?
Well, one would be to listen to your people.
Yeah, listen to
Right.
your people.
Surround yourself with good people
Right,
who know
yeah,
more than you. I heard you say
yeah,
that.
I always say surround yourself with gladiators, those people that you trust, that you know will have your back, that will get into the arena with you. Sometimes it is a battle, but then also knowing that sometimes you may stumble, but they're not going to judge you, that they're going to help dust you off, have your back, and keep moving forward. So surrounding yourself with gladiators is important. I do think, given that this is the Wealth Success Zone, especially for women business owners, I always say, you know, cash may be king, but the queen should always know what's happening to her coins.
That is all so dramatic, but so very effective. I like that concept and idea. Thank you very much for being on our show today, and I hope that everyone who's watching can know that we have a real CEO that you should be emulating, and that being a CEO is something that's learned, and being a CEO is something that is always, always something that you need to share with your staff, your workers, your associates, and your target audiences all around. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We will see you in our next episode. Till then, be well. Bye.